This is looking to be a very explosive fight. One that you definitely don't want to miss out on.
So what would the result be?
Prediction is will not last 12 rounds, I think.
Manny Pacquiao stormed into his first press conference like a man possessed, igniting the room with a cold, focused glare and a chilling message for WBC champion Mario Barrios. Gone was the soft-spoken legend fans had grown up idolizing. In his place stood a warrior with unfinished business. With calm fury, Pacquiao made one thing crystal clear. This fight isn't about nostalgia. It's personal. The crowd fell silent, and Barrios, expecting a farewell tour, instead received a ruthless warning.
Champion, so it's a good fight. Don't count Pacquiao. Everyone's counting Pacquiao out because of his age. So you're a bunch of haters, man. So tons of power, tons of speed, and a shitload of experience.
If Manny wins, would it shock you or no?
No.
But it would shock the whole world.
We shock the world, but when at his age, yeah, I mean, but it's not, he's 45, 46.
He is in jail.
45, 46, but he's not.
He isn't here to relive history. He's here to rewrite it in blood. Now 46 and 4 years removed from his last fight, Pacquiao's return has sent shockwaves through the boxing world, all building toward July 19th in Las Vegas.
People moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like we were talking
Las
about
Vegas will host a clash that's bigger than titles. It's about pride, legacy, and the soul of a fighter refusing to fade quietly. For Pacquiao, this isn't a payday. It's a reckoning. Back in camp with longtime trainer Freddie Roach, Pacquiao has been flashing glimpses of his trademark speed and explosive combinations. In recent footage from Los Angeles, he moves with purpose. Sharp, focused, and eerily reminiscent of the Pacquiao from a decade ago. Fans are hyped, with believers seeing a man turning back the clock, but the skeptics are louder than ever. Critics have blasted the WBC for granting Pacquiao a title shot after a 4-year layoff and mysteriously ranking him at number 5 overnight. The backlash is growing. Is this a fair opportunity? Punishment or a dangerous spectacle fueled by star power. Concerns over safety, credibility, and matchmaking integrity loom large. Trainer Greg Hackett didn't pull punches with his opinion. He believes that if this fight had taken place years ago, Pacquiao would have destroyed Barrios. But now, Hackett says the Pacquiao who once ruled 8 divisions is long gone. He dismissed the fight as a business stunt, calling it more nostalgia than real competition. According to Hackett, it's a money grab wrapped in the illusion of a title bout, arguing there's no real balance between risk and reward.
I'm hearing things here. Manny Pacquiao aiming for a short return to the ring, age 46, Josh.
Yeah, I read something about that, man. It's that guy's my hero. I named my dog after him and stuff like that. So but he's touching 50 years old. I think he should leave it where it is. But obviously,
between a battle-tested but faded icon and an active, hungry champion like Barrios. Former champion Tim Bradley echoed similar sentiments, questioning Pacquiao's motivation. In Bradley's eyes, this comeback seems more about money than legacy. He pointed to the dangers of returning from retirement, warning that history often shows returning legends get hurt chasing one last high. Bradley highlighted Barrios' youth, timing, and sharpness as key advantages, even suggesting that Barrios might stop Pacquiao, arguing that the Filipino legend clearly isn't the same fighter he once was.
Pacquiao, not Pacquiao. Not Pacquiao anymore. It's tough to go against him in a situation because if it was some years ago, Pacquiao would beat Barrios. But right now, Barrios, with his momentum, might try to beat Pacquiao up.
I mean, not knock him out, but you know what I mean, beat him on the cards, beat him behind.
Legend simply doesn't belong in a title fight anymore. But not everyone is counting Pacquiao out. Oscar de la Hoya, Pacquiao's former rival, is firmly in the legend's corner. While acknowledging the age gap, de la Hoya emphasized the intangibles, experience, heart, and championship pedigree. He believes Pacquiao's ring IQ and warrior spirit can still trouble younger fighters like Barrios. De la Hoya praised Manny's historic resume and warned fans and critics not to forget the kind of fire that still burns in the icon's chest, with July 19th set to remind the world exactly who Manny Pacquiao is.
Obviously, it has to be pertaining to any kind of money. You know, it has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, definitely has to do with money. One. Two, I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring against Ugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, a fighter, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, bigger fighter, knows how to, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody.
With less than 2 months to go, the stage is set. One of boxing's greatest returns to the spotlight. Older, perhaps, but far from done. Whether it ends in glory or heartbreak, one thing is certain. On July 19th, Pacquiao isn't fighting. For the past, he's fighting to write one final chapter in a legendary career, and he plans to write it in blood. Despite the growing skepticism surrounding this matchup, Mario Barrios...
Quadra, I love him. I love him. Can he do it? Quadra?
Can he do it? Absolutely. Manny Pacquiao's...
Oscar needs...
He's a legend,
So nice one, thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but
remains calm, composed, and laser-focused as the fight approaches. While he holds deep respect for Manny Pacquiao's legendary legacy, Barrios refuses to be intimidated by it. For him, this isn't just another payday. It's the defining moment of his career. Barrios plans to use his youth, reach, and size to apply calculated pressure and dictate the pace of the fight. A win here would mean more than a belt. It would be validation. A chance to etch his name alongside one of boxing's all-time greats. However, not everyone is convinced that Barrios...
When you see the Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight?
It shows that, combination punchers, that's how Pacquiao, was landing, his punches, combinations. And, it just shows you that, he is a great fighter, but, I'm going into this camp, going into this fight confident, getting right with our game plan, and I'm going to try to execute it.
Barrios' size is expected by many to play a decisive role. But boxing analyst Teddy Atlas recently challenged the notion that Barrios holds a major physical edge. While the Texan does boast a height and reach advantage, Atlas pointed out that Barrios only recently moved up from 140 pounds after struggling to make weight, raising doubts about whether he's truly a natural welterweight. In Atlas's view, the fight could be far more competitive than expected, especially given Pacquiao's wealth of experience and ring IQ. Pacquiao's
one of my favorite fighters in the whole world. He's moved up from incredible weight. People forget about that. That's why I brought it up. How many weight classes this man has really moved up. Incredible. Just incredible. But now, Barrios wouldn't be as big as those other guys, but he still a guy that's confident. He's a guy that's a world champion.
After retiring in 2021, Pacquiao's return has stunned the boxing world and reignited global interest. At 46 years old, his comeback has drawn both admiration and criticism. But one thing's for sure. It's raised the stakes. According to WBC President Mauricio Sulaiman, all official approvals have been granted, making the title bout official. However, behind the scenes, many insiders believe this fight may be more than a final swan song. Whispers are growing louder that Barrios was strategically chosen to rebuild Pacquiao's momentum, with the real endgame being a potential mega fight against Gervonta Tank Davis. Some critics suggest this is a calculated move, not just a comeback, but a launchpad for one last legacy-defining war. With Pacquiao's legacy on the line and Barrios hungry to prove he belongs among the elite, This matchup promises tension, drama, and fireworks. Will the veteran's experience overcome the challenger's youth, or is Barrios ready to shock the world? Drop your predictions below.
Sullivan has said Mario Barrios will face Manny Pacquiao this July. That's some crazy shit, bro. That's some crazy news. Manny Pacquiao is 46 years of age. He's making his return to the ring. And he said he wants to go out with a bang. He wants to finish his career as a champ.